Well, what is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to A Therapeutic Edge. Hey, it's very nice to have you here today. On the table in front of us is a Todd Begg. Yup. This is from his War Junkie line. I don't love that name, but whatever. I do love this knife. Now, there are 3 or 4 other designs in this line, but I was lucky enough to get a hold of this one, and as you can see, it's used. You know, I picked this up used, but man, this thing is comfortable. I really do enjoy Todd Begg's design aesthetic. Like a lot. Like a lot. Yeah, I really do like his stuff. It's interesting because it's all a little bit different, but it has very similar. There's a feel in hand. I don't know how else to describe it. So you've got the Sun Tzu edition of his Quaken, you've got the Field Marshal, and of course the Glimpse 7.0. And then recently in his War Junkie line, he had the folks at Artisan take one of his customs and make this. Now this knife has been very polarizing. Let's just go with that. But as you can see, it's got the War Junkie logo on the blade. When I show this knife, I get a lot of, that looks like a gas station knife. And I'm not going to argue. It has to do, I think, with the blue and the colors and stuff. But his custom version of this is very, very expensive. And you can pick one of these up for about $400. So, I don't know. The custom that I had was well made, but this thing is superb. The folks at Artisan just killed it. So, yeah, I like Todd Begg's stuff. So when I had the opportunity to add a fixed blade to my collection, I said yes. And the blade is really interesting. It's just a fantastic knife. What do you get? Well, it's S35VN. It's actually made in the United States by a company called White River, which I think is very cool. It's got his sort of traditional, well, he likes to put holes in his blades. It's kind of a Todd Begg thing. It has this is Micarta handle that is polished. The spine is crowned all the way up and down, both sides. It is full tang construction. As you can see, it's very comfortable in hand. And I love this blade shape. I mean, just as a straight up, take it out in the woods and use it design, this thing is fantastic. Now, the one thing this knife does lack, it's got some aggressive jimping back here in case you wanted to, you know, I don't know. It's ideal for feather sticking because of the way it's shaped, right? It's great for processing meat. It's got a lot of belly. It has just enough tip that you can poke into stuff and slice. You can't really work a flint with this. You'd have to use the blade itself. Everything else is too crowned, too rounded. Now, you could fix that. If you really wanted to, you could take a Dremel into the sharpening choil and square that off, and then you could definitely hit a stone with that. I'm not going to do it, but you could if you wanted to. The all-terrain here, I don't know, it just makes me happy. It comes with a sheath that has holes in it because it matches the, I don't know, I didn't design it. Let's do some size comparisons. What should we compare it against? Well, earlier I did a fixed blade and I compared it against a Mora, so let's do that. This is, you know, these are about $300, I think. Yeah, $375. So you're paying a fair amount for the knife and the name, let's be honest, but this is about $20. But size-wise, that's a standard Mora. You can see the all-terrain's bigger than that. What else do we have on the table? I know I've got a Reeve up here somewhere. What do I do with it? Hello? Oh. Yes, I know. We can compare it against... Oh. Now, some of you may be more familiar with the K-bar. Maybe that helps. As you can see, the all-terrain is considerably smaller than a standard full-size K-bar. It's actually a really nice size. With the sheath, the way it's designed, It rides on the hip really comfortably. It's not too heavy. It just generally does a great job. Oh, I found my Nyala. So there you go. Both of these are S35VN. Both of these are made in America. Both of these have very similar scale material, completely different design aesthetic, and they work differently in different ways. This is a better all-arounder. This is an excellent tool for just everything else, really. I'm not a huge fan of the blackout blade. To me, it just shows wear, but Todd didn't ask me. Let's put it up against a couple of familiar folding knives. Well, no, let's do the specs, Peter. What are you doing? Okay. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, and a little shy of 4. Just a little shy of 4.5 inches of cutting on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 inches overall of that S35VN on the blade there. The grip area from behind the swell, you're looking at 1, 2, 3, 4.25 inches, so lots of room, right? Really well done. The overall knife from tip to tail, line that up, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.75 inches, which isn't too bad. Weight matters. Let's see how much she weighs. Okay. We are coming in at 227 grams, which is 8 ounces. So there's a little bit of weight, but I mean, that's a really, really stout blade. It's not super thick, but it's tall, right? So it's a little front heavy, but it really makes for, oh, and you can very carefully get your finger into this. I wouldn't recommend it, but if you wanted for pull, you could. Just saying. As I said, the sheath is Kydex. It's got a folded Kydex belt clip on it, but you, of course, could put whatever kind of clip you wanted on there. I'm really happy with the retention. There's a little bit of rock, but not much. I tend to get aftermarket sheath for my knives like I did for the Nyala here, but this one I'll probably leave just the way it is. It's even got a little hole to let moisture out. That's nice. I don't have to worry that much on S35VN, but, you know, it's just the same. Yeah, this is the War Junkie. Todd Begg War Junkie. God, I really don't like that name. Anyway, Todd Begg War Junkie all-terrain. And I am very happy to have it in the collection. I said in a previous video a few weeks ago now that even if you collect pocket knives and you don't really think you have need of a fixed blade, I'll tell you, pocket knives are excellent tools, but they have, well, some obvious failure points, the pivot being one of them, right? A good fixed blade in good steel and good materials is never going to let you down. And so if you just buy a good one and stuff it in your backpack or in your car or somewhere where you're going to have access to it in a time of need, you can't go wrong. Anyway, thanks so much for watching. This has been the Todd Begg War Junkie All-Terrain made by White River Knives. I'll put a link both to Todd Begg's War Junkie line and White River down in the description. If you have any questions about this or any of my knives, feel free to ask in the comments. And thank you so much for watching. Remember, take care of yourselves and take care of each other. See you next time.